Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Great League Remix Cup. This cup going to be available for today in a few hours, and we're going to take a look, of course, at the most broken Pokemon for this cup, which is going to be Carbink. Carbink is still for me not XL because I'm going to save up my XL candy. I'm already actually at like around 40 at this point of time. I'm going to save up my XL candy when I have a good IV variant, so still no XL and still wrecking the meta. We were already able to farm down a Gardevoir, which is kind of wild, Shadow Gardevoir against us, and we're still going to be able to get to another charge move against the opponent, allowing us to get some damage onto the Victory Bell and aligning our Pokemon correctly, so this fast move beatdown team we were able to beat. Let's take a look at the next opponent here. We're going to have the Charizard, and in comes now the Toxicroak. We will be able to now go ahead and go for some damage here with our good friend Cresselia. Cresselia should be able to win this matchup, which is really important because, of course, I want to align the Charizard against our Carbink again, because Carbink is the hardest answer possible for Charizard, resisting all moves whilst farming them all the way down as well. It's even, I think, a harder answer than, for example, the Bastion, which is kind of wild because Bastion at least gets still neutral damage from Blast Burn. Like this, we're going to be able to resist every move and also Dragon Claw even twice, which is kind of wild. So yeah, here we're going to still be able to go for one Grass Knot, knocking out the opponent. They can go ahead and go into their Charizard here right now. I'm still going to be even able to hit the Moonblast here, and as you're going to see right now, this is going to do around 50% of the opponent's health, okay, like 40% of the opponent's health. But look at the damage output from a Charizard here. Blast Burn, it still did nothing. This Pokemon is just insane. I did a mistake here by swapping out most likely immediately, because now we had a Primeape against us, and this is kinda awkward, right? Maybe. We will find out shortly, because we can still go for our Body Slam, and as you're going to see right now, we will be able to go back into our Carbink, and we will be able to farm them all the way down here as well. As the Cross Jump is coming through, we see that they are definitely in farm down range for our Rock Throw, and one more Rock Slide is all we need here. They needed to get to another Blast Burn. A Dragon Claw wouldn't have done any damage at us at all. So this is going to be a good game here. Carbink just destroying opponents left, right, and center. We're going to have the Sand Slash against us. By the way, you're going to see it sometimes as well during the video, most likely. Like, I had insane issues with the game. The game was so broken sometimes. Also, sorry for some people here, for example, like what happened there? I don't know what happened there, but we're going to at least be able to go ahead and go into our Cresselia against the opponent's Quagsire, which will allow us to go for the Grass Knot, which would knock them out straight away and just one-shot them if they don't shield, and they do not shield, allowing us to now have our Cresselia against the Sand Slash, which is of course a horrible matchup for us, but still we're going to be able to already knock out one Pokemon and get the next Pokemon super close to being knocked out as well, as they have more frame drops here coming through. The Ice Punch is coming through as well. I'm trying to swap out, but no, the opponent gets to their next charge move in time, which will be the Ice Punch, and I can now go ahead and go into the Dub Wall, trying to get as much energy as possible, as we're going to encounter a Machamp in the back. And this is going to be, of course, a little bit awkward, because we have our Rock type there, right? I'm just going to go straight for the Moonblast, just in case they're going to go ahead and let this move go through. I'm just going to go for it straight away. Is this the right choice? Let's take a look at this. It is not. And now we're going to still have our Rock type against a Fighting type like Machamp. And guess what? We don't really care too much about this. It is insane. Like, how is it possible to knock out a Machamp with a Rock-type Pokemon? I have never seen anything like this, and we most likely will never see anything like this again, but honestly, Carbink is just completely busted. This Pokemon is so insane. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see Kofak Regis in the lead. And again here, by the way, another way, of course, to say it again, we don't have the XL variant of this Pokemon. This is the normal variant with horrific IVs for level 40. I'm not going to put any XL candy into it yet, but this Pokemon still slaps. Like, it is insane how overpowered this Pokemon is. And while I was thinking that I'm most likely not going to see too many people running this Pokemon, I feel like now, knowing that the level 40 is already so OP, I think a lot of people are going to run their level 40 Carbink. Like, not gonna lie, I think that's going to be a fairly decent Pokemon to run here as well. Where we're going to encounter Skuntank. And seeing the Skuntank here right now kinda makes me question what they have in the back, because usually when you face a Skuntank, they usually run it in a ABB style line with the Drapion, and if they have Drapion in the back, this game is good, like, over already. Like, there's nothing that we can do. Drapion itself will be most likely a Pokemon that you're going to encounter quite more often, because this Pokemon will be able to also do super effective damage against Carbink, and might be a better say swap as well for the open Great League as well now. But here we're going to see They will be able to knock me out. I tried to catch the crunch onto our Carbink, didn't work out. I tried to go for a Moonblast here, still will be able to get for it, but honestly, Double Dark in the back is just not really something that we can do. Like, there was nothing that we can do with the Cresselia itself. Cresselia got completely hardwalled from all Pokemon here. So, basically we were battling with 2 Pokemon, and one of them was a level 40 Pokemon that should have been level 50. So yeah, let's take a look at the next opponent here. We're going to encounter the Carbink against Aron. This is a very interesting one. They have a fully XL Aron, as you see there, 1478 CP, very cool Spice Pokemon. Thing is, Aron usually runs, at least I think, the Metal Claw as a fast move. Turns out that Aron actually learns another fast move, which I didn't even know that it would learn, what you're going to see here as well later on, if you didn't even spot there already, but it is not Metal Claw. Let's take a look here at this matchup though. You're going to have the NiRiain against us, and because I know that they're going to knock me out with another one afterwards if I shield it here, I'm going to let this move go through because I know at least I survive this one. I can go for the Body Slam, forcing the opponent to shield up, and I can go into my Carbink again, which can take any move that's coming in. Like, we don't care about it. I bet like Carbink even survives an Earthquake from a Shadow Swampert at this point of time. But we have to swap out, of course, immediately. And again, we're kind of getting walled here. Very cool, spicy team by the opponent, by the way. All non-fully evolved Pokemon with the Grimer XL, the NiRiain XL, as well as the Aron XL. But yeah, in comes the crunch. We can still go ahead and go for our own Moonblast here, which is going to be able to knock out the opponent if they let this go through, and they luckily let this go through. I thought they're most likely thinking that we were going to bait there, so I went straight for it, and it was definitely the right call, as you're going to now be able to go for Grass Knots against the opponent here. And this should be fairly fine. They're most likely running Iron Head on the Aron as well, and we're going to see it here as well. But I realized at this point of time as well, it is not the move Metal Claw. It is going to be Tackle as a fast move, which is definitely better for them. But we have to hope that we can go for the Rock Slide in time, but we cannot. And I'm fairly certain my opponent just wants to troll a little bit and go for the Rock Tomb. Iron Head should have knocked us out. Iron Head is also less energy than the Rock Tomb, so I don't know why they didn't go for it. But this is going to be a good game. I think still my Cresselia would have been able to win this game then. Like, I think they also realized at this point of time that Cresselia would be able to win this. But yeah, let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see Infernape, again a Pokemon that you don't really see too often. The opponent, by the way, knows how to play it. They just like to play Spice. I know the person, they always bring some spicy stuff, so very funny to see Infernape. Honestly, I feel like Infernape would look so cool as a Shadow Pokemon, but still needs, of course, a buff. Maybe Counter Infernape would have been a really strong Pokemon. But yeah, here we're going to now encounter the Quagsire, which of course will not appreciate the incoming Grass Knots from us, but actually they can survive one, as you're going to see here right now. But I'm still going to be able to try to farm them all the way down. I can let a move go through here as well, as we see that the opponent going to swap out again, and I should win for the Grass Knot here in time. But I was not able to go for it, and I will be able to at least go for the Rock Slide here right now, which they're going to definitely shield up because they have so much energy on this Infernape. Infernape already learns Close Combat as well as Blast Burn, so if this Pokemon ever gets a better fast move like either Counter or even like something like Incinerate, this Pokemon will be actually really strong. I feel like Incinerate Infernape does make a lot of sense. But like this here, we're going to now have our Sheep Boy, our good friend Double, against the opponent's Wishcase here as well, as we can go ahead and go for the farm down against the Quagsire. I knew that they wanted to catch a move here somewhere down the line, so I was waiting for it, and it worked out super well for us, as we can go ahead and go for a payback against the opponent here right now, which will be enough to knock them out here as well. And this is going to be a very good game. Well, let's take a look at the next opponent, MEWeedle, the world champion as well here for Pokemon Go. Let's take a look at what they're going to run. They're completely hard-rolling me with the lead. Quagsire is one of the best answers for Carbink, of course, resisting the fast move and Rock Slide as well, of course, then. But also going to be able to do super effective damage against us, which is of course not really ideal. But in comes now the Mandibuzz, a Pokemon that I also don't want to face, of course, because the Mandibuzz is going to be a very strong Pokemon in general against at least the Cresselia, but I would like to have it against my Carbink. So they were able to align their Pokemon perfectly. And so this is going to be a little bit of a trickier one, I would say here, as the foul play is coming through. Now I actually can still reach a Body Slam. I wasn't sure of if this would knock out the opponent here. It would have been really lovely, but sadly it does not. They are swapping out, which is decent for me, and I expected them to see Peter here with a Stone Edge, so I'm going to chill this move up here as well, expecting the Stone Edge. Of course, if it wasn't a Stone Edge here, so great play for the opponent that they were able to do this without having to really give up the energy, but it doesn't really matter because you knock them out anyway. So like at the end of the day, I just shielded a move that wasn't as hard hitting as it's supposed to be. Here we're now going to not be able to get another fast move through because the game is so consistent here. I should have definitely got another fast move in there, which at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It was just one more style damage that I had to take because of that, so it's not really the biggest deal. But in comes here right now the Sand Slash. And what you're going to see here right now is that I most likely actually would have been still able to win this battle here right now if my Carbink would have been XL. Because you're going to see that I'm barely not going to be able to survive this drill run, but I'm fairly certain if I had the fully XL variant of Carbink, I would have been able to still win this game here with my Cresselia endgame then, because I would have still got to another Rock Slide, I would have still done more damage against the opponent's against the opponent's Sand Slash. So I would have been fine here if my Carbink would have been XL. So definitely this Pokemon going to be so insane when we're going to be able to get it. Can't wait for the Go Fest in London, where I'm most likely going to be as well then. But yeah, like you can get them there. I have to buy my ticket still, so maybe I should do this soon. We're going to have here now the Scrafty against us in the lead. This is of course a matchup where it looks fairly decent on paper. You have Fairy type against a fighter, but this fighter in particular are going to be a little bit tricky to deal with because they have Power Punch. And Power Punch is of course a move that I don't like to face here. But it's very predictable that they're going to shield here, so I'm going to go for the bait first. And what we're going to do here as well is we're going to try to catch the move onto our Cresselia, which works out super well. It's going to be a Power Punch again, going to be resisted. And then we can kind of force the opponent to swap out here soon, as they're going to now, okay, go for one charge move at least. But they are basically in a really difficult spot here. But no, they're going to have a perfect answer, of course, against in the back with the Charizard here right now. We're going to now at least be able to still go for some Moonblast, and I'm actually going to shield this move up here because I saw that the Moonblast does a ton of damage, and I hope that they're going to shield this move up so I can go back into my Carbink. But sadly they're going to let this move go through. Allows me at least to realign, which does not really help me too much against the Scrafty, but they actually have another answer for our friend Cresselia in the back. And like this is going to be a tough one. I literally had again 3 hard counters for Cresselia, which makes it all a little bit difficult here. I mean, of course, Scrafty, in certain scenarios, it's not a hard counter against Scrafty, but of course, in this scenario, where they have energy, where I'm already low, the incoming foul play is not knocking me out, but definitely gonna get me low. I can at least still go for my own charge move here, but as you're going to see right now as well, it is not going to be enough here as well, as we're going to now be able to go ahead and go for our good friend Double. The Power Punch coming through, going to do some decent damage. Maybe I should try to farm all the way down here, but I was like, I should be able to survive a crunch from this range, and they shouldn't be able to survive a body slam. So if this is a crunch, we're going to be able to win this game, and they're running Sludge Bomb, which in this meta I wouldn't run, but for them, of course, right now was the right one to go for. And we can go ahead and go to the final game for today. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to have our MEWeedle against us in the lead. Horrific for us, but we can swap out into the double, which at least does fairly decent neutral damage. I'm gonna go for my body slam here straight away, which will put them into kind of, I don't know, yellow health range here. And I'm gonna go straight for the payback. They should know that they survive a body slam, so I'm gonna go for the harder hitting move, but they're still going to shield up the move here, sadly. I know that I still survive a body slam, and like this, we will be able to now realign our Pokemon as well, as we have 4 attack on our double, which will be allowing us to win the CMP tie here as well. And in comes back the MEWeedle. I can go into my Carbink here as well, which will have, of course, at least neutral. I mean, both of our moves are going to be resisted here, so like the fast move of mine is going to be resisted, but also the Fire Fang. They went straight ahead and went straight for the Power Punch, which was kind of predictable. So this will allow us to now go for the Rock Slide, let us farm them all the way down here as well. And we are going to shield up the move. Maybe it's an Iron Head, it's a Play Rough, which most likely also would have done a ton of damage. And in comes now the Electrode. I can go for one Rock Slide here, which is going to be neutral at least. This is going to do enough damage to put them into Moonblast range here. And our Cresselia should have a great time against the opponent, as this is going to be the Energy Ball coming through, going to do some pretty decent damage, but not enough to really threaten us. We can even take another charge move as well. But as you're going to see here right now as well, we're going to now try to go for another one. But they can go for their double wild charge, but we're going to be able to CMP tie here, so I'm going to use my shield, allowing me to CMP tie, and this is going to be also it now for this game, as I will be able to now knock them out here, and the MEWeedle has no chance anymore. And this is going to be it for today's video. If you missed yesterday's video for the top teams for this meta, definitely check this one out, it's currently on the screen. Otherwise, also, you can check out my Turtonator video, and also leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I see you in the next one, bye bye.